Taylor Swift is not the greatest lyricist of all time, nor is she even the greatest lyricist of our time. That spot is reserved for one Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. The Elohim, if you will. Now gather around, Swifties, if you want to hear a story that involves Easter eggs, lyricism, hidden messages inside lyrics, and it's been spanning 13 years, I've got a story for you. See, the media will tell you that Kendrick Lamar and Drake were actually friends once upon a time, and that they were just two rappers coming up in the game, jockeying for position to be number one. And that their falling out had more to do with ego than it does with the actual story. If you look at the lyrics, specifically Kendrick Lamar's lyrics, you will get the full story, which is that Kendrick Lamar never liked Drake, not even a little bit. See, Kendrick Lamar didn't like Drake for a very specific reason. Drake is actually kind of fake. He doesn't write his own songs. He is chosen by the industry to be the number one rapper, and Kendrick Lamar knows this specifically. See, to be given access to this world, to this industry, you have to give over lyrics to their guy, to their number one rapper. And Kendrick Lamar was put in a position where he had to give work over to Drake, i.e. their first 3 songs together. And their only 3 songs together. So Kendrick Lamar and TDE hatched this plan to get Drake to expose himself for the phony that he is within these 3 songs. See, because Drake is not an actual writer himself, he doesn't have the reading comprehension skills to discern what Kendrick is actually saying for him on these records that Kendrick wrote for him. On Buried Alive, Kendrick Lamar is basically going on Drake's album and saying, hey, your lifestyle is questionable. And on that song, he details his initiation into the industry. On the song Poetic Justice, he gets Drake to diss himself by saying the line, I could never right my wrongs unless I write them down for real. At the end of the song, Kendrick Lamar literally says, read slow and you'll find gold mines in these lines. Sincerely yours truly. He's not saying sincerely me and Drake. The consistent message you'll find in all 3 of these songs is that Kendrick Lamar is having to bury his message in his lyrics, because he is no longer allowed to speak plainly about things now that he's in the industry. So then Drake finally puts all of this together, and then what happens? He gets the industry involved. And if you look at the lyrics throughout Kendrick's, songs over the years, he's basically telling you that not only himself, but TDE is stuck inside of an NDA where they can't talk about any of this. So everything that we saw from last spring on, it was just a delayed reaction. It was just delayed by the industry. It's why when the beef popped off last spring, he says, the very first time I shot me a Drake, I didn't point down enough. Today I'll show you I learned from those mistakes. All of this went over everyone's head because the words were too coded. We didn't understand it. He wasn't direct enough. If you're a Swiftie who is starved for an actual artist in your life, go listen to Kendrick Lamar. Start with Section 80 and just look at the imagery that's woven through every single project, the symbolism that's woven through every single project, the messaging. He has never swayed once. He knows exactly who he is as a person, and that's what makes it cool. And he actually gives a shit about his listeners and their quality of life and raising people up. And that's all I have to say about that.